Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum students. Today we are going to study Second World War. In previous lecture you listened to me about the First World War. So today we are going to study about the Second World War, and Second World War is the background of the Second World War is the First World War. In the First World War, we see that there was at the end of the First World War there was the Treaty of Versailles. In the Treaty of Versailles, Germany, Turkey, and their other allies were punished severely, and their territories were distributed among the winning nations. And especially Germans were held responsible for the starting of the World War. So a lot of punishments, a lot of bans were there in Germany, and the German people became very poor. They were unable to pay the expenses and to pay the ransom for the destructions of the winning nations. Then in 1930, the Nazi Party, come in power in Germany under the leadership of Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler, when he comes in power, so he announces that he will take revenge for the defeat of the World War I. He will take revenge for the defeat of the World War I, and he rejects the Treaty of Versailles. On this announcement, on this promise, the Germans gave him vote, and on this promise, in the election, he promised the Germans that he will reject the Treaty of Versailles and he will take revenge of the defeat in the First World War, and he will take those areas back from the winning nations which they had taken from Germany after the World War I. The Germans, so this nationalist movement was called Nazi Germany, and the party name was Nazi Party. The people became very enthusiastic and they gave vote to Hitler. When Adolf Hitler came in power, he announced the rejection of the Treaty of Versailles and revenge for the defeat in the Second World War. So Germans were much angry due to the harsh Treaty of Versailles for Germans. Then there was economic crisis in America, in the stock market of America. Economic crisis happened, and due to this economic crisis, the countries came much problems the countries were facing, and due to this crisis, every country wanted to occupy the resources of other country to give strength and to give a support to its economy. So this also led a background for the Second World War. Then when Hitler's announced, after this Hitler's announcement, another person, Mussolini in Italy, he raised and he said that Italy will become again superpower of the world, and again the Roman civilization and Roman power will be back in the world. Hitler announced that German is the purest nation of the Aryans, and other nations are not pure. So German is the master race of the world, and due to master race of the world, God has created Germans to be rulers of the world, to rule the world, and other people will be slaves of the world. This was a very dangerous slogan, but the German people became much enthusiastic with this slogan and they supported Hitler. Then Mussolini in Italy, he said that Italian is the best nation of the world and it will rule the world. Franco in Spain, General Franco announced that Spain will rule the world. So these people started started war and occupations of different areas of the world to become power of the world. These all the announcement, their struggles also led to the Second World War. Then due to these announcements, Germany took over Austria, occupied Austria, and Italy captured Ethiopia in Africa and Albania in Europe. When they did this, so the League of Nations, which was made after the end of the First World War, that League of Nations will stop wars in future, but now League of Nations was unable to check Germany and Italy When the League of Nations was unable to check them, so Britain and France threatened to declare war on Germany, but this threat did not had any effect on Germany. And on 1st September 1939, Germany attacked Poland. When Germany attacked Poland on 1st September 1939, then after 2 days later, 3rd September 1939, Britain and France declared war on Germany. So this was the start of the World War II. Well, students, so we studied the background of the World War II with the events which led to the World War II. Now, when the World War starts, it starts on 1st September 1939 when Germans occupy Poland. And in retaliation, in reaction, 3rd September 1939 is the day when Britain and France declared war on Germany. And this is the start of the Second World War. In this war, again, there are two groups like the First World War. The first group name is Allies. Allies contain Britain, France, USSR, China, and USA. In First World War, you study Russia here, but now after First World War, there was a Red Revolution, Communist Revolution in Russia, and now the Russia name was USSR. In the Second World War, its name was USSR. And China and USA, United States of America. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, allies, and they were also called big powers or big four: Britain, France, USSR, China. Big four, USA. Then later join later. Well, so the second group was Axis, and Axis contained Germany, Italy, and Japan. So there was a war between the two groups, Allies and Axis, and other 30 nations were also supporting Allies. And there were colonies of Allies like India, like in Africa, like other areas. So those colonies were also became a part of this World War. Now in this World War, Germany occupied Poland, France, Denmark, Belgium, Norway, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. Oh, so Germany was going on with much speed to occupy the whole Europe. Japan attacked the American military base, the Pearl Harbor, in Hawaii in 1941, and in this way, USA was also drawn into the World War. Japan then invaded China and Southeast Asia up to Burma and many islands of the Pacific Ocean. Then Germany invaded Soviet Union in 1942, but surrendered in 1943 at Stalingrad. Now the war is spread to Greece and North Africa. Then there were Allied commanders, Churchill, Stalin, and Roosevelt. The Axis forces were going on much successful, and it was very clear that the Axis forces are going to occupy the whole Europe. But the successful strategy of the Allied commanders, Churchill, Stalin, and Roosevelt, turned the result of the World War into the favor of Allied forces, in the favor of America, Russia, China, and France, etc. Now, in 1943, they were successful.